it depict the bad side of the Philippines? Does it show?
Because we're very sensitive.
Yeah.
I mean, Filipinos are.
Even John said that, but ano pa masama kung pakita yun? I mean, the Philippines, this is about, we always have a problem with transparency. People deceive you. We don't want to show this part. Even if there's a huge elephant in front of you, nobody talks about it. Why don't we have the courage to confront the realities of our time? I thought about that. That's the correct answer for your question.
Well, you want to. I think as an emerging economy takes shape within the Philippines, you want to put your best foot forward, and so you don't want a spotlight on the worst parts.
It's a cultural thing too.
Yeah. You have to remember, we're not making a political statement, and we are not making a tourist. We're not making a tourist information.
It's not a documentary.
So it's a piece of cinema. It's drama. Why pick the poverty areas of it? And I was like, well, where can I put a family that will be at the greatest odds, and it will be at the greatest threat for the decision of the survival of the family unit? Where can I put them? And so from a filmmaking aspect, for me it was to put them in a place where they had no money and very few choices. I remember my composer, when he first watched the rough cut, he said, I want to give money to this family so that they can buy a house. You know that the story's working when that happens. We were a small group, and so we became quite a close family in that sense. We were together for 35 days and took a very long journey together.
You're so brave to be on your own. I thought you brought your own crew.
No. I worked with Filipino crew. I had to work with Filipino crew. That's the way it was going to work. I wanted this film to be a film that the Filipinos would watch and forget that it was directed by a Westerner. I wanted them to be immersed into the film and embrace it as a Filipino story. And so, in order to do that, it had to be completely accurate. And for me to be completely accurate, I've got to immerse myself into the Filipino culture. I've got to become a Pinoy. I've got to become an honorary Pinoy in that sense, I hope that it's going to find an audience here. I hope that the Filipino people will accept it and embrace it as a Filipino story, because I think it is.
So, what are your thoughts on the Oscar race? When you heard that it was chosen by BAFTA?
I fell on my knees. He rang. Of course, it was.
I knew he was going to be asleep, so I thought, I'm going to wake him up with this.
He rang.
It was like,
No, and I woke up like this and said, hello? It's like...
Because no one calls at 2 a.m. unless it's an emergency.
Exactly. So I said, I was like awake. I said, hello?
Good news.
And he said, what do you think is this? What do you think you could ever imagine? I said, no way. I fell on my knees. I didn't know that it's going to make me weak. I don't know if it was a prayerful...
You had an idea? Or?
You hope, right?
But physically it affected you.
Yeah, it was a physical falling down. And tears fell in my eyes. It was a joyful event. I mean, it's not a nomination yet, but still,
at least to represent the entire United Kingdom.
Yeah.
To represent your country and be the film that they believe is the one that is the most competitive in that race.
Yeah,
then
we're happy about that.
You couldn't ask for more.
How did the 20th Century Remake deal come about?
They saw the film in Sundance,
Sundance.
And they approached me after it and said that we would be interested in obtaining the remake rights. And were they available.
So they got it?
So they got it. The deal was done with them, and they have the rights, and now they're developing their version of the film. So that's why they put their producers on board, and they put their writers on board, and they develop the story as they feel that that's how they want to remake it. But the underlying material and the characters are obviously based on the original Metro Manila. And they also believe that it's a story that can be set anywhere. So they believe that there's actually versions of it to be made in India and South America. And these are versions that they can make as product for those countries.
You have a say on the casting and the creative.
I'm very interested in seeing what they've done. I've remained as an executive producer on the film.
Okay.
So
for the US version.
Yeah, no, I do have first refusal to direct. So I will read the script and look, and I do have that chance.